Here we go, the Terran player in red. He was able to win every single game in this group so far. At the top right, we have OGS SuperNova.
Indeed, and down here at the bottom left of the map, Daybreak is our Zerg player who has been doing a lot. He's been doing very well lately, considering that he's kind of an unknown player. He is Zenex Life.
We have another ZVT. As you can see, Life is starting with that hedge at 15 supply, which is really common against a Terran player. And I'm actually quite interested in what SuperNova is going to do. He has played against Nestea with early pressure with a proxy barracks. And will he be able to put some pressure onto Life this time? No, he doesn't even try. He's going for that early command center. Trying a ballsy move, is going for that early expansion. And now SuperNova will throw down a bunch of barracks, focus on that mineral heavy play in order to squeeze out a bunch of Marines that will be able to deal with aggression from the Zerg player. So let's have a look at what's happening right now. Both players are scouting already. We have the Overlord of Life, slowly hovering into the vicinity of the Terran player, while SuperNova, of course, already sent an SCV out to get an idea of what's happening in Life's main base and expansion. The second barracks is following up the first one. Yeah. And now the hatchery is about to finish. So yeah, I think we might be able to see a little bit of a longer game this time from SuperNova.
Now, both these players have actually about the similar win rates in their tournament games against their opposing race. But if you look at how they've been doing recently, SuperNova, he actually, well, obviously he beat Nestea earlier. That's a pretty good win as well. But he actually beat Dongregu in GSL Code S in October. And has beaten Czech in the Super Tournament. So he's been doing very well against Zerg, whereas recently Life has been struggling against Terrans, losing to Björn and Tasia and Lots in some recent ESV tournaments. So lately Life has been struggling against Terrans, so not looking good for him here in this situation against SuperNova, who is just on fire today.
We have Life, by the way, with one drone left in his extractor, so he didn't pull off all 3 drones as you usually do. He still wants to mine just a little bit of gas to get that lead tech maybe a little bit earlier than with the usual hatch first play. At the same time, OGS SuperNova throwing down the bunker just for safety's sake, and of course double refinery after he started with some Marines to kill not only the scouting zealot of his opponent, but to put an end to early aggression by the Zerg as well. It's 42 supply for Life right now against the 32 of SuperNova, and speed is going to kick in a few seconds. So yeah, with 10 Zerglings being built, this is actually kind of interesting. What is he getting that gas for? Getting a lot of Zerglings early on already. 27 for Life. We might even see.
Well, yeah, we can't see unfortunately on our monitor right now how much gas he has saved up. But you know, sometimes I like to just keep that extra drone and hold that thought. Here comes some Zerglings going in. He doesn't have a ton of Marines at this moment. The bunker is complete, but it gets completely surrounded. He cannot get the repairing done because the Zerglings are covering the whole surface. But no, he does squeeze some SCVs in the repairs long enough to kill half the Zerglings. The other half are going to go into the main base, but he might be able to clean it up pretty easily now.
I still don't really understand what I'm seeing right now, because SuperNova didn't wall off his choke. No. And why wouldn't he do that? He had to build supply depots somewhere. Why not build that second supply depot so you can actually block the choke? And that was the only thing that allowed Life to sneak into the main base of his opponent. And I was wondering what Life is going to use that gas for. He could even have built a Baneling nest, which he didn't. He's now using that gas to tag to his lair. But still, SuperNova, that one move was just a little bit off. He defended quite well against that push of Life, but one has to admit that he was lucky as well. Finally, he was able to wall off with all those supply depots that you've seen just right now at the left and right side of the bunker. But still, if not for that repair, and yeah, that was really cutting it close.
That was a clutch repair, and I actually, you know, if Life had dedicated 4 more Zerglings to that bunker, there would have been no surface area for those SCVs to get there. But as it was, he like sent a few Zerglings off another direction, if I remember correctly.
Into the main base.
Into the main base. And so the SCVs were able to get to the bunker just enough to repair it. So, yeah, and he does have that Baneling Nest now, and I think that might have been, sometimes I'll leave a drone in gas just so I have a little bit of gas in the bank, so if it's like an emergency, like, oh crap, I needed a Baneling Nest yesterday, you know, I've got a little gas in the bank for that, and that may have been why he was mining it, but now he's going to be able to start using it. Now he's going to start mining more gas as well, and getting that Zergling speed immediately upon completion of his lair. So he's going to be in really good shape. Also pumping out a lot of Zerglings here. So he is really, he knows he has an advantage right now. He's just going to take a third, power up some units, and go for some high economy aggression.
A lot of upgrades. He's getting the +1 attack upgrade for the melee units. He's getting the armor upgrade, the Baneling speed, as Moldrap already mentioned. So that's a lot of upgrades for his ground units, and we might see a really, really big push. But now an infestation pit joining the tech units, the tech structures. While SuperNova is now moving out, he once again built those 2 engineering bays that allow him to get his upgrades early on. We've seen him do this before today. And while pushing out with a bunch of bio units, he's getting his 3rd base.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, SuperNova just powering up a lot of units right now, trying to get out a good army. There we see a couple Banelings morphing. I'm not surprised we don't see more Banelings morphing, considering I don't think we have a Spire. We have the Infestation Pit, so he's getting those pathogen glands. He's going to be going with the Infestor play. And but this marauding, no pun intended, marauding army of SuperNova does not want to have that happen. He's going to catch these Zerglings off guard. Oh, the stim goes on. Is he going to land some Banes? No micro on the Marines. And the Banelings didn't crash into the Marauders in front. They actually ran right around the side into the Marines that were clumped up there and does a lot of damage.
That was a little disappointing. Micro air, micro low. Nothing happening for SuperNova. He could have taken out those Banelings quite easily with the Marauders. But she didn't do, and Life is on 130 supply against 88. We might see that situation we were talking about earlier, especially as now here is Life again trying to take out the Marines. He's not just... Oh, and he's taking out everything. I mean, Life looking so good right now. He's on 120 supply against 77. You mentioned already earlier that his record against Terran is not the best, but in this particular game, he's doing really, really well. Getting another hatchery, getting the +2/+2 upgrades. And SuperNova, he's struggling.
Yes, he is. And he's struggling to get his 3rd base up at the bottom right as well. Getting an armory.
Scouted.
Yeah, it's been scouted. He's getting an armory right now. I'm not exactly sure what that's for. Maybe for tank upgrades. And planetary going down.
+2/+2 for bio, I guess.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. But anyway, he's switching up and getting some tanks, getting the siege tanks out. So he's just going to try to go for a push-off 3 base. I don't think he expects he's going to be able to move out and play. You know, he's gotten so far behind, is my point, that he kind of needs to just bunker down with 3 bases for a while and then move out with a large army later.
And here we go, live streaming into the main base, funnel going off, and SuperNova being caught out of position. Here come the Banelings, and oh my god, SuperNova is losing so many units, and he doesn't have siege mode. Those Banelings are chasing off the Marines. +2/+2 not finished for the Zerg. He's using infested Terrans as well, putting a lot of pressure onto SuperNova, and now trying to kill those SCVs. Oh, taking out that tank. He's looking so good right now.
Please, Baneling those SCVs. They're all clumped up. I just want it to happen. Oh, look at that morphing Banelings in his main. SuperNova, GG's. And, you know, I was saying that SuperNova needed to just bunker down off 3 bases and try and get a bigger army later in the game. Next Life did not want to wait for that to happen. He said, I'm going to defeat you right now, and just charged and barged the door down. So Next Life is actually going to go to a 2-2 situation. He has lost 2 games and won 2 games, and so that is actually very interesting. So Marine King versus Nesty is going to be the final match. And by the way, we didn't mention this before, but it's actually, if it's a 3-way tie and it's all tied up, then we have to go to tiebreakers. But if it's just a 2-way tie, we go to, it's a winner tie system. So whoever won the match between the 2 players that are tied gets the lead in that situation. So actually, let's see. So if Marine King...
if Nesty wins that game, we have our 3-way tie.
Yes, if Nesty wins that game... Yeah, so if If Marine King, wait, what is? Try to figure.
So if in the next match Nisti is
Yes.
winning against Marine King, then we have that three-way tie. But as Nisti would then have been able to not only defend Marine King, but also Life, he would advance because he won against both players that he's tied with.
Right.
So basically what is going to happen right now is that whoever wins that match will advance
Yes.
to the next group. Life is already out of the picture, even though he won that last game. So if Marine King wins, he will have 3 wins and 1 loss, will advance together with SuperNova to the next stage. And if Nesti wins, they will be tied with 2 wins, 2 losses. But as Nesti won against Marine King and Next Life,
then he will advance.
He will advance.
Okay. Very interesting
Showdown
situation. Yeah. So it is all going to come down to this one last game. That is the important part. If you don't understand the crazy tiebreakerness, that is the important thing, is that this last game between Marine King and Nesti will determine the 2nd seed. SuperNova, he clinched his spot long ago. He lost that game to bring it into a strange situation here, but he's still advancing, and this last game is going to decide the winner. Marine King versus Nesti.
I'm getting goosebumps.
This is going to be crazy. Let's not wait any further. Let's get into this game.